Hi, my name's Andy Strike, and I'm coming to you from Erie, Pennsylvania. This is a video I'm going to post publicly, but it's specifically for the dementia caregivers uh, support group that I've been a part of for a couple of years now. Um, for the few people who might see this that don't know me, um, my partner died from dementia about a year and a half ago, and I was her caregiver for 7 years. The last four of which were especially difficult. Um, and if I hadn't run into this support group for specifically for dementia caregivers, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I'm sure I would have survived, but the quality of that survival might have been very different than what what was possible with the support of other people who were going through very similar things. The point being that there's very little support in our society for people who are caring for others who have dementia. There's there's no way for the medical industry, the pharmaceutical industry, or doctors or hospitals to make money on people who have dementia. It's a one-way trip. It's very hard. It ends up involving a lot of care, specialized care. Um, all the while your loved one is disappearing before your very eyes. Their personality is changing. Uh, yeah, I won't go into all of that. Um, so, to my dementia support group friends, I want to report that the transition from Washington, D.C. to Erie is going pretty well. I'm pretty happy here. My friend Jim has been essential to that, and I can't say enough about how much I appreciate his help. Um, so there's a lot of good things to report, but I specifically just want to tell you about something that happened on the. So I arrived on a Monday. So then on Tuesday, I was walking around trying to learn about the immediate area around this Airbnb I'm staying in. So and it's a very nice place I'm staying. It's small, but it's got a nice bedroom. It's got a small but very nice living room. Um, The kitchen's well appointed, the bathroom's nice. They call it an efficiency, but these are separate rooms. I don't see it as an efficiency. It's just a small one-bedroom apartment. Um, and it's furnished. Didn't have to worry about any of that. I was able to get all my stuff in here and largely unpacked. Um, so, that's all good. And I'm getting to know the local area. Um, but on Tuesday, when I was the Tuesday after I arrived, so 8 days ago, um, I walked into this Sheetz gas station. Uh, it's one of these really big operations, lots of pumps outside, and inside is like a large convenience store combined with a relatively large fast food restaurant. Uh, so it's big operation. But so I walk in there, but there's only one other person, one other customer, and one person behind the counter. Um, so we started talking. The customer was fiddling with an automatic coffee maker machine and trying to get what she wanted and having trouble. And uh, she and I started talking about the difficulty of technology. And um, I mentioned something about, even smartphones really don't work for a number of people. And that caught her attention. And she mentioned that she was going to help a woman. I think she might have been related to her. But this woman had a partner who had dementia, and they were trying to find a better phone that he could use. So naturally, the conversation ensued, and I couldn't help but say, "Well, I know a little bit about dementia and how hard it is to find phones." And so we talked about that. Obviously, to me anyway, I don't think she'd ever met anybody else who had ever talked to her about things like this. And for me, it was just it was just completely natural, this is who I am, this is, um, my experience, and being a techie, I feel a little responsible for, why don't we have better phones for older people? Um, anyway, uh, in the end, I mentioned you all, the Dementia Caregivers Support Group that I'm a part of. And I gave her the card that I had made up, which is about me being a non-medical dementia caregiver and how I cared about that sort of thing. And uh, on the back of it, I listed a few of the things that I'd be willing to do if people were interested. But mostly, I was just handing her my contact information, saying, "Give this to your friend and let her know about this support group. I'd be happy to refer her." That our group has Dwight from Pennsylvania, and this could be a second person from Pennsylvania. Anyway, she's very touched, and she took the card very gratefully, and said with real sincerity, she thought her friend would appreciate it. So she paid for her coffee and left, and then I went to pay for my coffee. And there's this young man behind the counter who had, witnessed the whole conversation, and he was really, really touched. I mean, and he told me so, that he thought that was quite amazing. Uh, I guess people just don't know what kindness is sometimes. I mean, for me, it was just talking about my experience with another person who might appreciate it. But this young man, he just thought it was wonderful. So I paid for my coffee and left and, kind of dancing. I just thought, I'm just being me, and two people are much happier as a result. Three, count me too. I was much happier looking at the result. So somehow that was just validating about uh, who I've become and what I care about now. We're all changed by dementia caregiving. And I struggle to make sure that those changes are positive. Um, we're all too familiar with the pain of it all. Um, and and that's something I want to address. So I was really pleased in our group the last time when wasn't pleased that there were four of us who have lost our partners to dementia, but I was pleased that we all talked about how much we would appreciate having a group just for us. The, the dementia support group, dementia caregivers graduate program. Uh, so yeah, I want to be part of that. Uh, somebody needs to organize it. I'm not sure that it can be me just now. My only request is that let's meet in the evening, early evening, um, say 7 o'clock. And I'm saying that because I have to be focused on earning money, uh, and I want to keep the daytime free as much as possible, the regular working hours for that. So if I'm going to add another group to my schedule, I need it to be in the evening. So I hope that works for the other three people in this situation who want to kick this off. Uh, and I'd be happy to reach out and start recruiting more people because we know they're out there. And maybe they weren't able to find a dementia caregiver support group to be part of, uh, but having lost their partner, maybe they're a little more motivated to find a group like what we're talking about. So much more to say, but I don't want to take up your time. I just loved our in person meeting at K's. Only downside to that is I wish we'd been a little more conscious about making sure everybody had a chance to say something and be listened to in the same way we're able to do that when we're together as the support group online and Zoom. Um, that's just me. I mean, that's how I feel about things. I remember, so I'll just share this. I remember being kind of torn up that day as Tracy left because we hadn't really said goodbye. And other people were talking and she was leaving. And, that's the kind of circumstance that always bothers me. I have a hard enough time saying goodbye to people. And trying to do it when I'm distracted and trying to pay attention to several different things is just really hard. So that's me. Um, and uh, and John, who I don't think I've ever met in person before. I would have liked to have had more time to hear how things were for him, um, because I don't know him that well. I mean, we were part of Cedar Lane together. Uh, and I guess the good news is I'm going to be part of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Erie now. And that place actually has a memory cafe that meets regularly. Um, Now they're hosting it. They're providing the physical place that people come to. I don't know that you know, I don't know anything more about it. I hope to check it out soon. That was something I always wanted for Erlene, and could never. Well, by the time I even learned that they existed, it was too late for us. So that's the sort of thing I'm interested in doing while I'm here, evangelizing for dementia caregiving, and trying to figure out ways to provide better support for dementia caregivers. So, but golly, you guys have just been so important to me, and I so appreciate it. Um, Kay, thank you for all those hours and hours that you spent um, being our facilitator. Uh, I know enough about that kind of thing to know that it's not just really easy. I thank you for the effort that you put in. And I know everybody else does too. And I'm glad you're taking steps now to look after yourself a little more. I wish I had done that. But I'm doing it now, and I want you all to know that it seems to be working out, at least initially, and I'll keep you up to date. Uh, anyway, I wanted to leave this message just to let you know how important you all have been to me, and I don't want to lose touch, even if I have to stop coming to the regular meetings. I want to stay connected, and I'll do my best. So much for now. Yeah, I'm still learning how to do these videos.